Practice makes structure reliable. This is episode 2 of Authentic Controllability. In the previous step, we explored reliability as variation control. Now we move from system reliability to human practice. AI can help us build a structure quickly, but structure is not yet capability. A structure becomes reliable only when we return to it, practice it, test it, and make it our own. This episode asks one central question. How does an AI-collaborated structure become human-owned capability? AI can rapidly create outlines, concept maps, workflows, and visual systems. It reduces the initial noise of the blank page. But this is only the beginning. A structure is not yet capability. A person may possess a beautiful plan without being able to execute it, repeat it, adapt it, or explain it. That gap is the execution gap. And the only way to close that gap is practice. Practice tests whether the structure can survive contact with human attention, timing, fatigue, and meaning. Practice is not mere repetition. Repetition repeats an action, but practice observes the variation inside the action. A learner may play the same piano passage again and again, while still accepting the same timing instability, poor alignment, or attention drift. That is repetition. Authentic practice begins when the learner notices the difference between intention and execution. Where did the rhythm become unstable? Where did attention disappear? Where did the movement lose clarity? This is the moment repetition becomes practice, when variation becomes visible. The kinetic pivot of learning is the moment when scattered effort becomes a repeatable pathway. At first, our ideas, attention, and energy often move in too many directions. AI can help gather those scattered pieces into a structure, but practice is what redirects that structure into executable capability. This is the pivot. The learner no longer merely looks at the structure from the outside. They begin to move through it. A rare moment of success becomes something repeatable when hidden variation is understood, managed, and practiced. Reliable capability has an architecture. At the bottom is structure. This is the starting framework that reduces the noise of the blank page. In the middle is method. Method means identifying and managing the hidden sources of variation. And at the top is capability. Capability appears when a rare success becomes repeatable. This is why reliability is not simply doing well once. Reliability means that performance can be repeated under similar conditions. A structure becomes capability only when method makes it reliable. Practice helps us distinguish signal from noise. Meaningless variation is the noise. It is accidental, unstable, and obstructive. In piano practice, it may appear as unstable rhythm, hesitation, tension, or fumbled notes. In knowledge work, it may appear as scattered ideas, inconsistent terminology, or lost focus. But meaningful freedom is the signal. It includes expression, interpretation, timing, tone, conceptual choice, and human perspective. So the goal is not to remove all variation. The goal is to reduce meaningless variation so that meaningful freedom can appear. Reliability clears space for freedom. This may sound paradoxical at first, but the purpose of practice is not to erase the human. We do not practice to sound like machines. We practice to reduce the meaningless variation that prevents us from acting freely. When timing, attention, and alignment become more stable, the person gains more space for expression. This is why reliability is not mechanical sameness. Reliability is stable freedom. It creates the conditions where creativity, interpretation, and meaningful choice can appear. When meaningless variation is high, attention is consumed by repair. The learner is fixing mistakes, recovering from hesitation, and fighting too many uncontrolled variables. In piano practice, this means the learner is nearly surviving the notes. In knowledge work, it means the learner is fighting scattered ideas. But when practice reduces this noise, attention becomes available for higher-order meaning. The person can now focus on phrasing, expression, conceptual choice, and interpretation. Practice stabilizes attention, so the mind can move from repair to meaning. Meaning prevents mechanical control. It may reduce errors, but it can also feel like pressure, sterile efficiency, or external compliance. Meaning changes the nature of control. It gives the person a reason to begin, return, refine, and stay. This is the difference between mechanical optimization and authentic controllability. Mechanical optimization asks only, how can I reduce defects? Authentic controllability asks, what meaningful capability am I trying to own? When meaning guides practice, reliability becomes stable freedom. AI is a powerful structure partner. It can organize scattered thoughts, generate first drafts, and build frameworks. It can reduce the variation of the blank page. It can accelerate formation. But AI is not the ownership source. AI cannot supply the human reason to stay with the structure. That reason comes from the person. Human ownership appears through repeated engagement, revising, testing, rewatching, adapting, and returning. AI gives the starting structure, but practice gives the structure human reliability. The transformation model has 5 steps. First, an AI-collaborated structure is created. Second, the human repeatedly returns to that structure. Third, variation becomes visible. The person begins to notice instability, noise, and weak points. Fourth, meaningless variation is reduced. Attention, movement, and execution become more stable. And finally, human-owned capability emerges. At this point, the person can repeat, adapt, express, and explain the structure as their own. The structure is no longer only external. It has become capability. The formula for reliability is simple. AI can help build the structure. Practice makes it reliable. Meaning makes it mine. This is the heart of authentic controllability. AI may help us begin beyond our current level, but beginning is not the same as owning. Ownership grows through meaningful practice, and practice is what makes structure reliable. So the final message is this. A structure can be generated quickly, but capability becomes human-owned only when practice gives it reliability and meaning gives it a reason to stay. Thank you for watching. Practice makes structure reliable.